with us taking the occasion out of it, that's a big 3 points and result for your side to move clear of that bottom four, and again keep that charge on the top half.
Yeah, it's a big win for us. I think we've been on Charlton and Peterborough, two teams we've lost to in I think last 6 games or whatever, near the top of the league. So no shame in that. And even those games, really in. But another win for us today. Another win. Another really, really good, strong performance. Outstanding in the second half. First half, we had to really grapple for control. We knew what the game was going to be like, and spoke to the guys before about matching the fight and the intensity and the mentality that we knew they would bring on because of this game, because of the stadium we're playing in and all that stuff, and we contextualised that for the guys yesterday. As did the chairman who spoke to the players. So it was really important. I felt him to come in, and I asked him to come in and speak to the guys, and he was great, really good. So there was whenever there's a game like this, there's always a big build-up for the players. They get asked different questions in the press, social media, they get fans messaging them about certain things, and they dealt with it brilliantly. And the first half was a real battle to try and gain control. And once we did, towards the end of the first half, and that period after the second half, we came out really strong, really dominated the ball, really intensity out of possession. And once we gained that, we didn't really let it up. After that, we dominated, I think, till the end of the game, really. And 2 great goals, really, really well taken. And they deserved it. So we defended brilliantly. The guys at the back, Harry, Warren, Dino, Fish, Louis Thompson to start with, were outstanding, just to give the team composure, the way they competed physically. And they take so much responsibility on with the ball. And I'm so grateful for that all the time, because it gives us a real platform to play on. And that's big mentality. Big players, need to perform in that role. So, and then the guys who came on, Ben, Lass, Charlie, Matty, obviously with the goal. It felt like a really real team performance today. Real togetherness. The way they were praising each other on the pitch is important to me. It shows where they want to go, and how much they're fighting for each other and for what we believe in and for us. And to do it in a game of like today. Was fantastic. So I'm really, really pleased and proud of the boys, and they deserved it.
We've seen it on a number of occasions that if we can just get through that opening, the opening exchanges and get through at least until half time, maybe that we can start letting our football do the talking. That's a perfect example of what happened in this game. And whereas on Tuesday you seen an early goal and you're chasing it, we rode out any early storm that was going to come from AFC in a game like this, and let our football do the talk in the second half. And that just shows, if you can just get there, we're going to be a tough team to try and beat against a 0-0 in the second half.
Yeah, I think we are a really difficult team to play against first and foremost, because of the intensity the guys show out of possession, the amount of ball we have, obviously. What's been our downfall so far this season is that when teams have real energy at the start of games, and their real mentality to try and stop us getting into any sort of rhythm or flow, we've given them a goal. And changes the context of the game completely and makes it really difficult. When we haven't done that, and the longer the game goes on, the more control we have, because you've put a lot of work into the opposition's legs, a lot of work, the way they have to chase the ball and press. And to be fair, AFC did that throughout the whole game. They're really aggressive with the press, but the way the guys played around it, found the solution, found the spare man, worked the other side of the pitch. By the end of the game, they're less effective, even when they have the ball, because they're tired. Physically, it's tough. Mentally, it's tough to not have the ball very much. And I think that's why when we've scored first in I think in every game we've won when we scored first. So apart from Burnley in the cup when you're playing a different opposition. So we have to do it more often, and we have to find a way to navigate our way through that first 20-30 minutes of a game when teams have real energy, and we did that brilliantly today.
Let's talk about the goals then. I mean, the first is fantastic from Dean to win the ball on halfway, and Cammy Jerome, who had a chance early in the first half, which I know he'd probably want to do better with, where he's pounced on a loose ball and he's linked up well with Scotty and put a perfect ball in, and I know you've signed Matt O'Reilly to get in the box and score them type of goals, and it's great to see him get off the mark so early, and obviously great for him in a big game like this to get a goal that puts us ahead.
Yeah, it was a proper team goal. We lost the ball high at the pitch. The reaction to it was great. Scotty Fraser went hard and forced the guy into a pass he perhaps didn't want to make that early. Dino's position was really aggressive, really good. Cammy and Scotty linked up superbly well. And then Matty arrived in the box, and so it's a great team goal, a really good move from a really aggressive reaction to losing the ball, which is what we want, and it's become part of our identity as a team. And the finish, the pass from Cammy to find him was outstanding. Cammy was, superb in the second half, fantastic. And Matty, I thought was brilliant. Really grew into the game. He's going to be a very, very good signing for us. We knew that all the way along. That's why I've been so keen to sign him. And he arrives in the box fantastically well, and we've seen that for a long time in training. And he's one of the best finishers we've got at the club. So it was, he took it brilliantly, and I'm really pleased for him.
The second goal, I mean, there's been. You had to talk a lot about Matty Sorinola yesterday in the press about his future, and one thing you did say to him is his attitude's been spot on through this whole thing, and whenever he's come on, he's worked hard, and just rewards for that, because I think he was fantastic second half, and I know he's had a little bit of a help from a deflection, but let's not take it away from him. That was a finish, and he's won us the game and helped make the game a lot more comfortable in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant when he came on. I think he doesn't even get the deflection. He doesn't show that intent to go and do it and be really positive. A fantastic goal, deflection or not. And again, the build up to that was really, really good. Defensively, he does a brilliant job for us, Matty. The way he protects the ball, the balance he has, and when I speak yesterday, and I'm honest with the guys about the situation, my frustration is because I love Matty as a guy. I was in the dressing room with him when he was a very young player. We've shown a lot of faith in him and belief because he has all the tools. It's still very, very early on in his career, and I think he's still got a lot of growing and learning to do with us and help us grow and improve before anything else. But I understand with young players it's really difficult to see the big picture, especially when you are being told certain things. And not by any, I think a few people have mentioned maybe it's by players that have been here with him or whatever. It's not players at all. I know he's getting a lot of good advice from our players. So that's my frustration. My frustration is I really want him here doing that on a regular basis. But I thought he was great when he came on. And as long as he keeps doing that, he'll have opportunities. And whether he's coming off the bench, whether he's starting, we're going to need every single player. And I think that showed with the guys that come on with the attitude they showed. They were able to keep us going in the game. We didn't lose any momentum. We actually probably got stronger. There was a bit more energy on the pitch because Louis not played for a long time. He was brilliant, but he had to come off. So everyone, there was a real togetherness today. Whether you start, whether you finish the game, whether you're in the stand watching, and I've complimented Lee Nichols and that loads again today. Really praising the players, some of the stuff the guys were doing, and it's really important. And we're going to need everyone. So long answer is that Matty was great when he come on, and he needs to continue to do that.
Some very good performances. I think there's certainly the back three were just so solid throughout the game. Harry Darling, another good performance in the centre. But how pleasing, especially after what happened in that Fleetwood game, to see out a game so comfortably in the way that we did. I can't actually remember AFC having a shot in that last 20 minutes, and you compare that to Fleetwood where we've let them back in from an even bigger margin of victory. How pleasing was that to see?
Hugely. And I think there was no ego. The difference between the Fleetwood second half to today was there was no ego. Everyone wanted to do a real job for the team, wanted to help their teammate, wanted to fight and run as hard as they possibly could to protect the lead, to get the lead first and then to protect it. And that was the difference, the mentality, and it was probably the importance of the game. Fleetwood 3-0 up. We haven't been in that position too often, so I understand it a little bit. But I was angry after that game, and the players knew that. You know that yourself. So today is a completely different feeling. It was one of real dominance. They never let go of it once they had a grip on the game, and they'd done that because they played together. They done things for each other, and they were willing to match any intensity and work rate that the opposition had. And after that, if they do that, they know that on the ball they can really, really hurt teams, and they enjoyed it. I think they really enjoyed playing together today and working so hard. And when we do that, we are really difficult to play against.
We mentioned about at the start, I mean, this is a big game for this football club, big game for the chairman, as you talked about, big game for, especially the fans, and I suppose that's the one frustration is they weren't obviously here to enjoy it. But, I mean, how much does it mean to you as someone who's, really thrown yourself into this football club and what it's all about to know that they're watching at home really happy with getting a win in a game like this? Yeah,
I'm really pleased for them. Obviously, you're right, the only disappointment is they're not here to enjoy it. We've really paid for the price for not having them with us this season, there's no doubt about it, and I've spoke about it a lot, and I mean it. I'm really genuinely grateful for the faith they've shown in me, for the support they've shown, for the patience they've shown, the trust in the process that they've given us, and it really means a lot. It really does to myself and the players, and I think there's been a lot of change at this football club in a short period of time since I've come in, since we've come in and taken over, and change is quite scary to a lot of people. and more change today with Regan going, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But I think they've embraced the change unbelievably well. I have a real clear picture of where I want to take us and how we're going to get there, and the trust they've shown in it has been incredible, and we just need to keep building now and repay that. And I've said that all the way along, and I hope that it's becoming clearer and clearer the team we want to be, the players we want to be able to bring that identity to on the pitch for the team that I want us to be and want the club to have and want the supporters to have. And days like today go towards helping that and helping repay that faith. And hopefully by the time we get them back in the stadium, we'll be moving onwards and upwards, and we'll keep improving. And ultimately, I said it from day one, I want to give them a team to be proud of. And today, I think they can certainly be proud of the players.
Well, now this is out of the way, I know you've got a busy 50 hours or so before the transfer window shuts. You mentioned, obviously, Regan, Paul, a deal that was complete late this week, announced just before kick-off that he'd joined Lincoln. And I know, as well as replacing him, you still want to add to the squad at both ends of the pitch. Could you just give us an update with, as we enter the last stretch of the transfer window?
Yeah, we're working tirelessly, to be honest. I'm knackered, as you can probably see. We've driven to a game last night, got back late, and so it's all the work you have to do to make sure you bring the right players into the club. What I would say, I think the window has been a brilliant one so far for us. Losing Regan, I understand if people can't quite work it out. So just to put in the picture, really, it's something we've known about for a week or so. The interest, it got stronger and stronger, and it got to a point where it became financially a good deal for us, and Lincoln showed real intent to get Regan. It's a team that are fighting to get promoted, one of the best teams in the league at the moment. So Regan expressed the desire to go and play, and also Regan wants to be a right back. We've had to try. He's adapted unbelievably well for us this season, playing right wing back and giving everything he's got there, and then obviously a bit of right side of the three as well. But he sees his future, and he's played a lot of positions over a short period so far in his career, and he sees his future being a right back. They want to sign him to play in that position, I presume. So, and when it gets to that point, I was honest with Regan about where I saw him moving forward. In terms of Ethan coming in, obviously makes it difficult. Warren's been outstanding, so maybe he wasn't going to start as many games as he would have liked. So I didn't want to deny him any opportunity to go and compete at the top end of the league. We are prepared for him leaving. We've got people ready, and there will be people coming into the club to make sure we've got good cover, and we're prepared for that. And I said to the players yesterday with Regan, when he's a really popular member of the group, but when someone approaches training, games, the culture with the way that he has, I have nothing but positive things to say about him as a person and a player. But when someone shows you the right attitude, the right mentality, even through this last week with us having that chat, he's been brilliant in training, and he gives energy every day. He's enthusiastic, one of the best attitudes. So sometimes in football, it's not always those guys that get what they want. It can be the other way, the ones that make it difficult. And it shouldn't be like that. So to reward someone with something they want, who gives you everything they've got, is not a massive problem for me. And we're ready to replace him, and we wish him all the best and thank him. I spoke to him yesterday and thanked him for everything. He's done the same. And again, it's good business. Someone we brought into the football club for free, and we've done well on financially, and we're ready to go and replace and move the team forward. So I think it's a good one for all parties, and he goes with all our best wishes.
And still hopefully to add not only in defence but up front as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think I've spoke about it all the way along, been pretty clear about that. Really pleased with what we had up front today. Joe Mason's really finding his form again, and his physical stats really, really good, really coming out. And Charlie Brown was great when he come on as well. So but we want to add. We want to add. There's no doubt about it at both ends of the pitch, and we need guys who are going to come and really compete with the players we have in there at the minute, and strengthen us. And whoever we bring in has to strengthen us on and off the pitch, and bring us something that we haven't got yet. So and we're working hard on that. I'm sure we'll be standing together on Monday at 11 o'clock, assessing the new signings. Well, I hope so anyway.